TikTok famous killer Isabella Guzman. Welcome back, amazing people! Today I'm back with another amazing story. If you are new at Ito's Top 10, then I would advise you to immediately press the subscribe button so that you never miss a video from us ever. In this video, we will be talking about the TikTok famous killer Isabella. Isabella is an 18-year-old who brutally stabbed her mother to death at her mother's home. The judge accepted the plea that she was abused and manipulated by her mother. That's why her heart filled with anger. However, we are not sure if it's true or not, so without further ado, let's jump into the video. Isabella Guzman was 18 years old when the police said she cruelly stabbed her mother to death at her mother's home in Aurora in 2013. She has a sweet-looking face. She stabbed her mother 151 times in the face and torso while her father was just downstairs. This is very shocking considering the amount of times she stabbed her mother. Sweet but Psycho happened back in 2013 when Isabella Guzman was only 18 at the time. At that time, Isabella's parents were separating, and she was living with her biological mother, Yun Mi Hoy, and her stepfather, Ryan Hoy. It was reported that she'd had a complicated relationship with her mother from a young age. When Isabella was 18, she wanted to drop out of high school even though she would graduate soon. It used to upset her parents, and many arguments followed. "The fight with my mom was terrible, and I was injured in the process," Guzman told Salinger in November 2020. "I have the scars on my hand. I was abused at home by my family for many years. My parents are Jehovah's Witnesses, and I left the religion when I was 14, and the abuse at home worsened after I quitted," she said. Moreover, back in 2015, it was reported to the police that she had been sexually assaulted multiple times by a hospital employee. As you can see, on one hand, Isabella Guzman is a cold-blooded murderer who people look down on because she killed her own mother. The day before the murder, Yun Mi called the police on Isabella as her daughter's behavior had grown erratic. She had sent disturbing emails. However, there wasn't much the police could do, and they warned Isabella Guzman that her mother could legally kick her out of the house. This was about the day of the murder when Isabella's father visited his old house to talk to Isabella about her behavior towards her mother. Before leaving, Robert thought that their talk managed to calm her down. As covered in Denver 7, later that night, Yun Mi went upstairs for a shower while her husband was downstairs. Ryan Hoy suddenly heard a thump and went upstairs to check on his wife. He found the bathroom door locked and a pool of blood seeping through underneath the door. He panicked and called the police as he struggled to open the door. Moments later, the door swung open and Isabella stepped out with a knife in her hand. Without words, she merely looked straight ahead and walked past him. Yun Mi was lying there in a pool of blood on the bathroom floor with multiple stab wounds to her face and neck. Hoy tried to do chest compressions on his wife, but despite his efforts, his wife died. Isabella Guzman was later arrested in a nearby parking garage. She was charged with 1 count of first-degree murder and 2 counts of crime of violence. The judge reportedly had to postpone the date of the hearing because Isabella Guzman refused to leave her cell. During the hearing, she was caught smiling at the camera. She pleaded not guilty under reasons of insanity. The psychiatrist said that Isabella Guzman was hallucinating, staring into space, talking to people who were not there, and laughing on her own. Isabella said that on the day of the murder, she was under the delusion that Yun Mi was not her mother, but a woman named Cecilia, who must be killed to save the world. This is all very shocking, as these signs were not of sane women, and it shows that Isabella was a retard. After reviewing the evaluation from the state's mental hospital, the judge accepted the plea. She was sent to a mental institution, Colorado Mental Health Institution, indefinitely, where she was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. In an interview with CBS 4 in November 2018, Isabella claimed that she was abused at home for many years, and it got worse when she left her religion, Jehovah's Witnesses. She stated that she wished to be released from the mental institution as she was no longer a danger to society or herself due to her medication. "I was not myself when I did that, and I have since been restored to full health. I was abused at home by my family for many years. My parents are Jehovah's Witnesses, and I left the religion when I was 14, and the abuse at home worsened after I quit. The fight with my mom was terrible, and I was injured in the process. I have scars on my hands. I don't know if you can see or not. I'm not mentally ill anymore. I'm not a danger to myself or others." This case left the people of the internet conflicted. Some sympathized with Isabella Guzman as she was mentally ill and her actions were not her own. Some even questioned the court's verdict. While the plea to let her rejoin society might not be heeded for a long time to come, various TikTok users have edited her clips to mock her. Regardless, the story itself is one of the most unique ones that have come out in recent years. But it will be until the state doctors determine that she is no longer a risk or threat to herself or the community. It could be a year, 2 years. It could be the remainder of her life, Broschler added. These are tough decisions on their face, Broschler said, because you have someone who committed such a violent act of murder against a completely innocent and defenseless woman. Her mother was in the shower when she stabbed her 151 times, but we're not in the business of just locking up everybody who has transgressed the law. We punish people who make decisions go wrong when they knew better and could have done something differently. Broschler said that, in this particular case, he's convinced, based on the evidence he's seen, that Guzman did not know right from wrong. I was convinced of it, he said, and in the interest of justice, I had to take these steps. She then finished her off by beating her with a baseball bat. According to the affidavit, Isabella had grown more threatening and disrespectful towards her mother leading up to her death. It's still unclear what exactly her mother was worried about, but neighbors had called the police in the past when they saw men jumping over a fence into the family's backyard. Those men were later discovered to be Isabella's boyfriends visiting her. The day before her mother was killed, Isabella spits on her mother and sends her an email threatening, "You will pay." Earlier on the day of the attack, Aurora police officers came to their house on a report of a family dispute. Officers said they found no hostility or rage at the house. They warned Guzman, who was 18 at that time, that her mother could kick her out of the house for her behavior. It seemed to calm Guzman down, and she stayed in her room most of the day, her stepfather, Ryan Hoy, said. Mrs. Hoy had grown so scared of her daughter that she called on her ex-husband, Isabella's father, Robert Guzman, to speak to the teenager. Just 3 hours before Mrs. Hoy was murdered, Robert Guzman paid a visit to the house his daughter lived in with his ex-wife and her new husband, Ryan Hoy. As they sat in the backyard, he explained the importance of respecting your elders and truly believed he had gotten through to her. In the conversation, I thought that I made progress, Mr. Guzman said, but it did nothing because hours later, this thing happened. Then, at 10:11 p.m., the stepfather called 911 to report that the teen was beating his wife in a locked bathroom. After the killing, police said that Guzman fled home. She went to a women's restroom at a nearby H-Mart, washed her hair in the sink, and changed her clothes. They say that she told the employees that she had been raped in Denver and asked them not to call the police because they would send her back home and she was in fear of her father. When police tracked Guzman down the next day, she told them they had the wrong person. She said she was Samantha Gonzalez from Cincinnati, Ohio. Police held up her ID card, but the teen said, "It looks like me, but it's not." Eventually, police discovered Isabella leaving the parking garage. Witnesses watched as 3 police officers pulled out guns and ordered the teen to the ground, and took her into custody. You tell me that a normal person could do this to their parents, or even a stranger can? Write below in the comment section. Please do like, share, comment, and for more videos, click the subscribe button and bell icon. We will meet soon with another video. Until now, stay tuned.